Hello, Year 6. We're going to be looking at relative clauses today. Okay, so you'll need a pen or a pencil, piece of paper or a notebook. And if there is somebody around that you can tell things to, that would be really helpful as well. So if there's somebody there to tell them what you think a relative clause is. If not, just shout it at the screen. Okay, just pause it while you do that. Well done. Right, let's have a look. If you said something about subordinate clauses, well done, because it is a subordinate clause, a special kind of subordinate clause. So subordinate clause means it's not the main part of the sentence. It won't make sense on its own. Okay, but it's a subordinate clause. It gives the reader extra information about the noun, okay, about the thing that's named in the sentence, and it's connected to the main clause using a relative pronoun. Okay, now that all sounds very grammar heavy and kind of complicated. There's nothing complicated about this at all, as long as you can spot a relative pronoun. So let's have a look at those. So relative pronouns, they're the words that begin a relative clause and add the extra information to the sentence. So here's a list of a few of them. That, which, who, whose, whom, where, or when. Those are all relative pronouns. And there's a sentence there with one in. The boy who has brown hair is called Daniel. Okay, so it's a subordinate clause, who has brown hair, because if we took that out, the sentence would still make sense. The boy is called Daniel. That makes perfect sense. Yeah? Put in the subordinate clause, but it has a relative pronoun, who has brown hair, so that is a relative clause. The boy who has brown hair is called Daniel. The relative clause is who has brown hair. As simple as that. Yes. Right. Let's just try a few together just to make sure we've got it. Okay, so can you spot the relative clauses in these sentences? So the first, the cubs who were in their house took part in a challenge. The dog that stole the pie is back. The person who bought his car found a 3-carat diamond under the seat. Our lawyer, whom we employed for over a year, was related to the complainant. And the young girl whose cat scratched our sofa offered to replace the cushions. You can't see that 2 there. And there's a 2 behind there. So just pause those while you just try and spot the relative clauses. And when you think you found them all, start the video again and we'll just double check. Okay, well done. Okay, so for number 1, how did you spot the relative clause? Well, there's a relative pronoun there, who, and where's the extra information? The cubs who were in their house took part in a challenge. The extra information there is the cubs who were in their house. Yes, because the cubs took part in the challenge is the main part of the sentence. Who were in their house, the extra part. Good. What about the dog that stole the pie is back? That is the word you're looking for, isn't it? Stole the pie is back. Which is the clause. Right, well, what would make sense on its own? The dog is back. So the extra information is that stole the pie. Well done. The person who bought his car found a 3-carat diamond under the seat. Now we've got our relative pronoun there. The person who bought the car, who. Okay, but which is the clause? Let's see, which bit would make sense on its own? The person found a 3-carat diamond under the seat. So the extra information is who bought his car. The person who bought his car. Yeah, so there's your relative clause. Well done. Next one. Our lawyer, whom we employed for over a year, was related to the complainant. Okay, now that's nicely demarcated with commas here. Those can help as well. Okay, we've got our relative pronoun whom. Our lawyer, was related to the complainant. That would make sense on its own. So this is the extra information, whom we employed for over a year. There's your relative clause. And the last one, the young girl whose cat scratched our sofa has offered to replace the cushions. Now, what would make sense on its own? The young girl has offered to replace the cushions. Yes, that would make sense on its own. So the relative clause starting with the relative pronoun whose cat scratched our sofa. As easy as that, okay? Have a go at your worksheet and good luck. Bye.